All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the fourth part of the show, we're going to now take a look at the early slate of games for Sunday. We previewed a couple of the late slate of games with the Buffalo Bills and the Lions, as well as the Steelers and the Eagles. But now, let's take a look at some of these games here. So I know I did bring up the Ravens. They will be taking on the Giants, the 2-11 Giants. Tommy DeVito, Tommy Cutlets, he will be making his return to the field after missing a couple games here. Drew Lock is in a walking boot, so looks like he's probably done for the year. So Tommy DeVito comes back in. Ravens are coming off of a bye. They're still thinking about that loss to the Eagles from a couple weeks ago. Right now, the line has gone up to 16. The Giants are 16-point underdogs in this game. And, yeah. Sorry, held back another sneeze again. I apologize for that. But anyways, yeah, probably you could give the Giants maybe 20 points, and I'd probably still take the Ravens. It is a lot of points. It's a lot. But I still got to go with the Ravens. I just think the Giants, they're just trying to get to the end of the season. I know they, went up against the Saints and they kept it close. And, they maybe could have won that game, but this is the Ravens now, okay? You got to deal with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. And I think that defense, which has struggled this year, particularly in the passing game, they're going to have their way with this Giants team. We're going to see a game similar to what we saw with the Buccaneers a couple weeks ago. The Giants are going to struggle in this game mightily, and it's going to get ugly real fast. I would be surprised if this game is close. The only time it really should be close is when they kick off. Other than that, I think the Ravens should really, take their frustrations out from a couple weeks ago on this team, and I think they should win this game pretty easily. And, I think we'll see like a lopsided number. I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens dropped maybe close to 40 in this game. The over-under is 42.5. The Ravens could probably get that by themselves in this game. So I like the Ravens, of course, to win, and I think they cover the number, even though it's a big, big number. So now let's go to some of these other games here. We got the Panthers and the Cowboys. This is actually an interesting game because, believe it or not, the Panthers are actually favored in this game. They're favored. Would you have expected that against the Cowboys? Now, the Cowboys, of course, they are without Dak Prescott. They're coming off of that loss against the Bengals on Monday night. But you know what? I really like how Bryce Young is playing. They could have came back against the Eagles. They could have beat the Eagles. They were competitive in that game. Maybe this is a trap. And, the Cowboys, pull off the win here. But you know what? I've been going against the Panthers during this stretch here where they've been playing better football. I'm going to take them here. And I'm going to say that they win the game outright. I think they deserve it. They've been on the losing end of these heartbreakers. Against the Buccaneers, they probably should have won. And against the Eagles last week. Also against the Chiefs. They came back in that contest, and then, the Chiefs kicked the game-winning field goal against them. I'm going to say the Panthers, they win this game here. Them being at home. The defense actually has been playing better too. See, it's amazing what happens when, you have a quarterback that, kind of, gives the team energy. We saw what Andy Dalton did when he first stepped in with the Panthers, but now that Bryce Young has played better, the whole team has started to play better too. So, I just feel like this has got to be a week the Panthers get the win, right? I'll take them here. Maybe the Cowboys do win and I end up looking like a fool, but I like how Bryce Young's been playing, and I'm gonna take the Panthers. I'm gonna say they win the game outright. So I like them in this spot. Then in the next game, we got the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cleveland Browns. Right now, the weather doesn't look nice, so I might have to pay close attention to that because these last few weeks, when my quarterbacks have had to play in bad weather, it is not. Actually, you know what? Jameis did play well in the snow, so I can't really say that's the case. But for Brock Purdy, he has not played good in bad weather. But Jameis is my quarterback in this game. One of my quarterbacks, I need him to have a big game. Now, it looks like the Browns are going to be without David Njoku, which that's a big weapon to take away in this spot. The Chiefs are coming off of a win. Browns are coming off of a loss to the Steelers. Browns are getting 4 points at home. And the Chiefs, once again, I thought last week was going to be the week. It looked like it. They were up 13-0, but the Chargers ended up coming back and taking the lead. I don't care. I'm taking the points. I'm taking the points with the Browns. I'm not going to say that they're going to win, but I do think they'll at least cover. Because I think the Chiefs will find a way. You know, maybe the Chiefs don't play well, but they end up, you know, Jameis ends up throwing a pick late, and they end up winning the game because of it. I could so see that happening. But yeah, the Chiefs are 12-1, and you know it's been a disappointing season for the Browns. You know, this was a team that had some decent expectations. I don't want to say they had super high expectations, but you know, I think we expected better from them. Well, I did. I had them winning 10 games, but right now they're 3-10. But just a lot of things didn't go right this year, and you know it's going to be interesting what they end up doing next year, particularly at the quarterback position. But we'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, right now, I like the Chiefs to win this game, but I do have the Browns covering. Then we got another interesting game, Dolphins-Texans. Texans coming off of a bye. Dolphins coming off of that overtime win against the Jets. Dolphins are getting the points. They got 3 points here. You know, the Texans are coming off of a bye. They've been disappointing. C.J. Stroud has been disappointing this season. 15 touchdowns to 9 picks. He has not been great. The offensive line has been a problem this year. Joe Mixon has played really well, though, when he's been in there. He did miss some time, but since he's come back, he's been great. I actually do like the Texans here. The Dolphins, they're fighting for their playoff lives. You know, they basically need to win out and get some help to still make the playoffs. But I don't know. Texans being at home, coming off of the bye, I like them in this spot. I'm going to say they pick up the win and they cover. But you know what? The Dolphins, they got Tyreek Hill going last week. And you also had Jonnu Smith, who did nothing for the first 4 quarters in overtime. You know, he had an awesome overtime. He's played really well for them this year. I have a decision to make whether I start him or Adam Thielen in my flex this weekend. And, you know, based off of how last night went, you know, I'm worried about what the rest of my team is going to do. But you know what? Adam Thielen's been playing well. But Jonnu Smith has also been playing well. So I don't know. I mean, I still got a couple of days to think about it. But yeah, I like the Texans in this game. I like them to win and cover the number. And then we got the Jets and the Jaguars, both 3-10. Mac Jones will be playing in this game. This will be the Jets' second straight game in Florida, coming off of that overtime loss against the Dolphins. And if there's a week for the Jets to win a game, it's this one. Now, they have lost to the Patriots before, so I can't really say that the Jets will definitely win this game. Also, you got Mac Jones starting. He'll be going up against his former AFC East rival. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mac Jones plays well. Now, I am starting the Jets defense this week because, again, if there's a week for the Jets defense to do well, it's got to be this one. The Jaguars are not a good football team. The Jets are more talented than the Jaguars. Now, the Jaguars, it's not really saying that much because, again, both teams are 3-10. The Jaguars might have the slight edge when it comes to coaching. But you know what? The Jets' offense did look better last week. That was one of the better games that they've had in a while. Aaron Rodgers had over 300 yards passing for the first time in a few years. So I think the Jets should win and they should cover. I think this is a game that they should win. Now, might not happen. Would not surprise me if they end up losing. But They're more talented. I think they should be able to get to Mac Jones, give him a problem, and force him into some turnovers. I mean, look at last week. Look at the game he had against Tennessee. They put up 10 points. I mean, I think the Jets defense should be able to, make his life, give him some trouble. Give him some trouble. We'll see. But I like the Jets to win and cover the 3.5. But who knows? Then a couple games left here. We got the Commanders against the Saints. There will be no Derek Carr in this game. Saints are 7.5-point underdogs. Commanders are coming off the bye. The Commanders are the better team here. Jane Daniels, this was really important this bye week. Let him rest up because, he was dealing with some injuries during the season. So, I like the Commanders in this spot. I think they should pick up the win. The Saints, their season's pretty much over. So I like them here. And then finally you got the Bengals and the Titans. The Titans are 5-point underdogs. Bengals coming off of a win finally against the Cowboys on Monday night. The Titans, that was a tough game to watch. 10-6 they ended up losing to Jacksonville. I like the Bengals to make it 2 in a row. Right now I'm seeing the rain icon on this game, so we'll see how much of a factor that is. But look, I think Joe Burrow has a good game here. Jamar Chase has a big game. Chase Brown has looked good. I like the Bengals in this spot, and I'm going to take them to win this game and make it 2 in a row. And Will Levis got banged up in the game last week. We'll see what happens here, but he is going to play. But I like the Bengals to win and cover the number. So give me the Bengals here. So yeah, that is those are all the early slate of games. So we're going to take our final break of the show now, and then when we come back, we will preview the late window games. So for one final time today, make sure to stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.